Hello, Kat and Bryce. I'm Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, Justice with Jax, and MAM Gossip, all on Facebook. We are doing weekly lives Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central Chicago time to talk about various cases of injustice. And this week, we are going to talk about justice and injustice in discussing the Ahmaud Arbery case, as well as the latest season of Tiger King. Now, I've talked about Tiger King already once before, but it was way early, right after the new season of Tiger King came out. So hopefully people have had more time now to have binged it. It's only like 5 episodes, I believe. So it shouldn't be that difficult for people. It's the Debbie Show. Yay, Debbie. So, what do I get into first? The one that makes me angry? Or the one that's just, Yeah, I binged it the day it came out too, Kat. Didn't realize it was the day that it came out, but had to see it. So let's talk Tiger King, since we're kind of talking about that now. I'm doing all right, Debbie. So these are my opinions, and I have a microphone and you don't, so you will listen to every word I have to say. In Tiger King, in the prior video that we did, and I'm sure every time I've talked about Tiger King, I have said there's no winners in that. I believe everybody affiliated that you see in Tiger King are horrible people. That Joe Exotic, while I do not believe that he was trying to hire anybody to kill Carol Baskin, he has abused tigers. And so he would have been doing time regardless and should do time for what he has done to animals. But then on the other side, you've got Carol Baskin, who she's the one with the axe to grind on all these other people that are making money off of animals. And what is she doing? Making money off of animals. Well, first she made money off of killing her husband. And he was husband what? Number 2 or number 3? I absolutely believe she had something to do with the disappearance of the crazy guy Don. And she inherited her money by getting rid of her husband, who was rich when she got with him. So it isn't even a case of she was the long suffering wife who was there while, she was waitressing to put her spouse through college or medical school or whatever. And now that he makes it rich, he's going to, do away with the woman. Okay, I wasn't sure, Kat, if she had had 2 husbands prior to him or not. Seems to me like Carol just kept marrying people. And the way she and Don hooked up to begin with, that she was just walking down the street, and I don't know. And he was married, and so when you're willingly being a cheater, so when they tell these stories of, oh, he had all these women in Costa Rica or whatever, I really don't care. You knew what you were getting into, and she chose to do it because she wanted that man's money. And when she first got all involved with animals, she was doing all the same things that Joe Exotic was doing. And now she claims that, she doesn't do that, that she's better than him. No, you're not, because those animals aren't free. So no matter what, you are keeping wild animals in cages. You're not any better. She just has more money. And she wants to take out her competition. Bryce says that one guy that the police came in and took all of his animals. What was his name? He reminded me of that creepy guy that keeps infiltrating the groups. uh, I don't remember what his name is. I don't remember any of their names because it's kind of like I want to block it out. I watched Tiger King. I'm convinced that Joe Exotic was not trying to hire anybody to kill Carol Baskin, but I still don't like the man or any of the people on the show. But it's interesting in the second season that the guy who Joe allegedly was trying to hire to kill Carol Baskin, who was a man that hated Joe, and Joe hated him, so also makes it kind of like, why would Joe hire this guy when he hates the guy? And then the mullet guy, bald guy, what's that douche's name? Who's bald, so he's always wearing a bandana on his head or a hat to try and cover that he's bald. Who would have money or not have money. I don't know. It's all kind of Jeff Lowe. There you go. That's his name. Thanks, Kat. So these two guys that were instrumental in helping them prosecute Joe, now that Carol Baskin and PETA, and don't get me started on PETA. PETA is not a good organization either. And I love animals. Love animals, can't kill anything. PETA is not good and not what they pretend to be. But now that PETA and Carol have turned their attention towards him, now they come out saying, oh, nope, this never happened. And the alleged hitman was even saying that the plan that he and Jeff Lowe had been working on was to kill Joe. Something like they were going to clothesline him. And took the person out there to show that there was a wire and that Joe would cut his head off. I don't know. It's all a bunch of crazy people who they should all be in prison, all of them. But I 100% believe that Joe was not trying to hire that weirdo dude to kill Carol Baskin. I'm sure he said a whole bunch of times he wants her dead. He was such a everything we saw is he's a crazy drama queen, right? And I'm not saying drama queen in trying to attack his orientation, because I am a huge supporter of the LGBT community. I would call a woman a drama queen. So let's don't get that twisted. I'm sure he said over and over again he wants her dead. Lots of people say that. Lots of people, I say all the time, oh, I want to punch so and so in the face. Does that mean when I see that person, I'm going to punch them in the face? No. Is it a nice thing to say? No. Is it a grown up thing to say? No. I know I'm childish and can be petty at times. And that's Joe. And in the news, there's been this that Carol's trying to say that what was it? There was some documents or whatever from Homeland Security. Is that what it was? On trying to claim that they know he's in Costa Rica. I don't believe any of it. I think she did something to him. There's too much there with how quickly she was jumping on getting that phony will, that the person who is on that paperwork as the notary said they didn't sign it. And there's nothing in it for any of these people. For this person to say that they didn't sign that, she's not going to get anything. Um, so there's all kinds of shadiness with Carol. I understand her not liking Joe. I don't have an issue with her for not liking Joe or any of the other people. I don't like any of them. But it's just not cool the way, but well, I guess that's how big business works, right? Um uh Facebook. That's how Facebook works. When there's some kind of competition, you just buy it, get rid of it so you don't have the competition. So you gobble them up. And so that's what she's trying to do. These weirdo roadside zoos or whatever the freak you call them were competition for her. And she wanted them bye-bye. Ken Starr. That's his name? Uh, I think of a different person when I think of the name Ken Starr. Yeah, Carol is no different. Um, I also have to comment though on Don Lewis's kids in season 2. I I find them very creepy. I'm just being honest. So again, that's going to there's nobody likable in this season. Um, they we've all heard the stories of how horrible Don Lewis was to his family and the cheating on his wife. They got married when they were children. Um, and just how horrible he was to all of them. And then when they're calling him daddy, and then they have that weirdo um um psychic or whatever that guy was, and and the guy's trying to say this is where something happened or whatever, and he's like, oh, and I'm getting sick, and he was crying or whatever. That was so weird. Everybody is weird. The ambulance chasers that want to be a part of um um Joe's legal defense, Joe's um last ex-husband, what, or I don't know, are they even divorced now? I these people are all weird. And the Tim Stark, okay. um I don't like any of them. And now I watched the first season of Tiger King twice because I watched it and then I wanted my husband to watch it. Now I had to watch the second season. If there was a third season that came out, I would watch that too. But it almost feels like a job to have to watch it now because I really don't want to revisit these people. They and it's and they're real people. They're no. I, and now Joe is battling prostate cancer, and I guess not looking too good for him. But for me, the bottom line, the thing that I get out of this whole thing is how I had no clue all the people around the country that were abusing tigers like this. I I know there was the whole battle of like the Ringling Brothers Circus. I regularly went to the Ringling Brothers Circus. Every year it would come here to um Rosemont Horizon, it was called at the time then, here in Chicagoland. I went every year. Took my son as he was growing up to, and I had fond memories of going to the circus and had no clue what was happening behind the scenes. And it wasn't until I got older that you then see that how this is not good for the animals, and I get it, and agree with it. Now I don't agree with, there's people. I've got one of my best friends is very anti zoos, period. I've been a longtime member of a local zoo here in Illinois, and used before my son started grade school, I used to take him to the zoo once a week, and I go at least once a year since then, even with my son as an adult. And I see that zoo, it's called Brookfield Zoo here in Illinois, does a lot of good things with the animals. So I guess I'm not seeing the behind the scenes on it, but um so maybe all zoos are bad. I I don't know, but I enjoy going to the zoo. I can I can understand that people would be excited if they had the opportunity to pet a tiger cub, but now seeing what um that whole world is like, you gotta question everything. Debbie says here in Scotland we have a wildlife park in the Highlands. It does a lot of preservation for the animals. That sounds fabulous, Debbie. I would love to do one of those safaris, but then you hear horror stories on that too. Uh, you, it's hard to know what to believe, So are the animals um, sedated or whatever for tourists to see them or whatever? I'm not talking about Scotland per se. I'm just talking in general things that I've heard of safaris. Um, I don't know, but these things just really, when you just have to question everything. But the one thing I don't question is Carol had something to do with Don never being seen again, and that Joe Exotic does deserve to be in prison, just not for Carol Baskin. That's pretty, in a nutshell, of Tiger King. I want to move on to the Ahmaud Arbery case. It was just covered a week ago on both 2020 and I think, was it 48 hours? I always, because there's 48 hours Dateline and 48 hours Dateline in 2020. And I have my DVR set to record them. And I don't pay attention to when I now play them, I just play it. So I don't recall necessarily which show is which. But both of them last week covered the Ahmaud Arbery case. And this is where some of y'all may not agree with me on this. But again, I have a microphone and you don't. So And you can disagree with me, but if you get nasty, you're gone. Ahmaud was murdered by 3 dudes who had no right to try and restrain him, saying like citizens arrest. Now, I was worried how the case, how the judge would rule due to that state having that weird citizens arrest bullshit. And enough evidence has shown that people in that neighborhood had concern, there of something going on, where they claimed there was one place that was actually broken into, right? Somebody going into a house under construction, it's annoying. If there was a house across the street from me under construction and a stranger walked into it, I would think something was up and have an issue with it. So I don't take issue with that no matter what color the person is. If you're not the homeowner or obviously the work crew, construction crew working on it, what are you doing there? And things these people had said let you know that the homeowner was showing the video because the guy had put cameras up at the place. And so he was showing the neighbors videos of people going into that house. Ahmaud wasn't the only one to go look in that house. And it was also clear that when they show Ahmaud had been there several times, he's leaving with nothing. Now, the owner had said, was it the owner that said? But there were tools that were stolen at some point. But it turns out the tools had been in a vehicle and not even at that house. So nobody can say that Ahmaud stole any tools or whatever. He was just curious. As he's jogging and this house is under construction, he went and looked at it. I get it. And then when he's somebody who's regularly jogging, you go and look at it again, to see how it's progressed. Nobody has the right to try to stop you then and detain you for the police. I don't care what freaking law they have on the books. And that doesn't justify now shooting him when he doesn't stop. It also doesn't justify shooting him because you've now chased him. 2 trucks are chasing him. You stop your truck, and one guy's out of the truck with the gun, and the other guy's in the bed of the truck with a gun. You run around the truck, and then you charge the guy with the gun. Doesn't mean you get to kill them. Now you're afraid. You created that dangerous situation. It is not self-defense. You didn't need to be there. Ahmaud is in fear of his life. He is a black guy. All these white dudes. One of the trucks got the stupid flag on there. Ahmaud had the right to be afraid. And somebody saying you need to stop doesn't mean he has to stop. And doesn't matter that one guy's an ex-cop. And when you look into that guy's history, which I'm not going down that rabbit hole to look into that guy's history because this guy ain't worth a whole lot of my time. He was not a good cop and has plenty of disciplinary actions in his past. You're not a cop currently. You have no right to have somebody stop and point a gun at them because they went in a house that was under construction. The third douche cat, um, it was very interesting to me watching these two shows that then gave more information on the third douche. So he wasn't just videotaping, he was blocking Ahmaud's progress. So he's not just having to run from one truck, it is two. And things that the third douche said right then when it happened let you know that he was 100% on the same page as the other guys. And so much so that he releases his video to, what was it, a radio station or something, thinking this was going to help show that they were in the right for what they did to Ahmaud. And nothing happened to any of those people when this happened. They murder this guy that they had no right to do anything to. They were in no danger from Ahmaud. You even see on the video when the cops arrive, Ahmaud is still alive and nobody is even checking him or giving him first aid. They let him die. Could Ahmaud have lived if somebody immediately tried to give him aid? So, in my opinion, the cops that arrived on that scene, they are accessories after the fact to murder. Because they did not try to help Ahmaud at all. And when they contact Ahmaud's mother, they're telling her that he was killed in the commission of a crime, that he was burglaring a house. And no charges are being brought against the people who murdered him. Nothing happens until the douche gives his video to somebody and then it makes national news. And now they're backed into a corner and have to do something about it. That is the only reason there was justice for Ahmaud, is that this idiot put the video out. They were on Easy Street. Ahmaud's mother was fighting for her son, but without that video, there's just the bad dude sides, the bad dudes with the guns. Guns, guns, guns. As just yesterday, another school shooting here in the States that has killed 4 children. That a 15-year-old went into his school with a gun that his dad bought on Friday. We don't have all the information on this yet. And was there a waiting period? Not how, so this guy bought it on the Black Friday shopping day that he got this gun that his 15-year-old son went into his high school and killed a bunch of people. And the thing that I find interesting in what I've done on reading on that case, as I'm going down that rabbit hole for a second, is that murderer has lawyered up and the police are not able to question him at all because they keep saying that the parents are have refused to let the police talk to their son. And so they're claiming in Michigan that you can't talk to a minor without the parent's permission. And as far as I knew, due to looking at everything from Brendan Dassey, is that there were only like 2 states, Illinois being one of them, and I thought was California the other, but maybe it's Michigan. I don't know. But that it was completely legal to do what they did to Brendan Dassey, to pull him out of school without telling anybody or whatever, and questioning a minor. But in that case, the kids, we can't talk to them. The parents say no. So one of Ahmaud's murderers is an ex-cop who was then working for the district attorney. It was like an investigator for the district attorney. And she refused to prosecute. See why I don't give a shit about any thin blue line? So she's trying to protect this dude who just murdered somebody. Now she's being charged. It's all crazy to me that people think that they can be tough guy with a gun and just go shoot somebody. And that we have people trying to defend that crap. Absolutely, the prosecutor should be charged. And until we have legislators that aren't chicken and go after their own, we need to start prosecuting anybody who is doing something illegal. When they are going to murder innocent people, when they are going to cover evidence, when they doctor evidence. If you're a district attorney, state's attorney, whatever you want to say, that the evidence isn't real, but you use it because you're just trying to get a conviction. So in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, you had the prosecutor given that crappy video and Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty, but if you have to use shady tactics to get him, then you don't have a good case. So using that crappy video in the Kyle Rittenhouse case is not any better than using the crappy phony evidence that they've used in countless wrongful convictions. And all those people need to be prosecuted. Just because somebody becomes a cop or a district attorney or a public defender, it doesn't mean that they are on a higher moral or ethical ground than anybody else. They're humans with flaws. And they lie, cheat, and steal just like anybody else. There's good cops, bad cops, good teachers, bad teachers, good cashiers, bad cashiers. There's good and bad in everything. So just because somebody got a job as a police officer doesn't mean they're there to uphold the law and that they don't have their own personal agenda and bias. Ahmaud Arbery was murdered. Kyle Rittenhouse murdered people, not self-defense. You cannot create the dangerous situation and then cry self-defense and I was afraid I was going to get hurt. I don't know if anything will happen to that district attorney or whatever her title is. I don't, I know they're trying to charge her with something. I don't know if anything will happen with it, but she should. She should be in prison right along with the other three. It's just so infuriating to me that people think they get to play cop, judge, jury, executioner. Right, Kat? That's the way it's supposed to be. Nobody's supposed to be above the law, no matter who you are and what your station in life. I think you can find these episodes on the Ahmaud Arbery case on demand. I think one of them's like on Hulu if you wanted to check them out. I found them both interesting. Um, and they had Ahmaud's mother in both of them. So if you wanted to check that out, you can find that. I originally said next week's episode, since we're doing these Wednesdays at 1 on YouTube, that we were going to do the Amanda Knox case. But I'm thinking I'm going to switch up the order. And next week, we're going to talk about Melissa Kalyazinski. And the reason why is I'm visiting her on Tuesday. So I'll also be fresh from my visit with Melissa. So your homework assignment before next Wednesday is you can watch the two different episodes of 48 Hours. That one is called Blaming Melissa and one is called The Fight for Melissa, which were done by Erin Moriarty, who is a longtime supporter of Melissa Kalyazinski. Okay, Bryce, we'll talk offline or off YouTube. um, so if you haven't watched Blaming Melissa or The Fight for Melissa, they're on YouTube. And so watch those, and then we will discuss her case, and I will talk about my visit with her and update you on all of that. I just talked to her again yesterday. She's also going to call me over the weekend. Um, Melissa is not feeling well. She's been having teeth problems for a long time now. She actually needs her wisdom teeth out. But she doesn't want her wisdom teeth taken out by a prison dentist. There is the option that they can take her out of the prison to go to a specialist. And that is what she would prefer, you know, but right now she's just trying to deal with it, to deal with the pain. And she gets an abscess in her mouth, and she is gargling with salt water to try and rinse it and keep it clean. And so it's just things like that you don't think about when people are in prison. the the healthcare. And and Melissa says she told me she got on the scale. She's lost like 5 pounds, which Melissa is an itty bitty thing, does not need to be losing 5 pounds, because she's having a hard time eating because of the pain in her mouth. And then as well as constantly going on quarantine, and they're they're not being fed as well as they should be. Not that they're ever fed well in prison. Yeah, I had all four of my wisdom teeth out at once and I got put out for it. There was no way I was going to be awake for it. And Melissa said she's the same and she wouldn't want to be awake. So another reason why she would need to go to a specialist and not just a prison dentist, but she's just trying to deal with it. And that bothers me so much because Melissa has to live in prison and she shouldn't have to be in physical pain as well as the emotional and mental pain that she's in by being somebody who is innocent and in prison for 12 years. So I'm going to switch up the order and we're going to discuss the Melissa Kalusinski case. That's Kalusinski. So we'll delve into her case, and then so the week following we'll do Amanda Knox. I want to talk about the Amanda Knox case because the guy that was in prison was just freed and he is talking about Amanda and her then boyfriend. So I thought that was something maybe we'll want to discuss. And then maybe the one we do right before Christmas on the 22nd. I saw that I have the option here on YouTube that I do a video that is for subscribers only. So I guess that would be the equivalent of, I do some things on the Stephen Avery Project Facebook page because that's public and anybody can see it. And then I do stuff that is in our closed MAM gossip group that, can be more controlled of what happens with it. So I'm thinking on the 22nd, then we would do a subscribers only live where we would do what we just call Ask Jax Anything. So that we could talk about any case, any drama, whatever. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see if something else pops up because just like this stuff, it's like, oh, I watched, the new 2020 in 48 hours or Dateline or whatever, and they're talking about the Ahmaud case. So I want to talk about the Ahmaud case. So something could change that. But I am certain we'll do the Melissa for next week since I'm visiting her on Tuesday. And I think I'm calling this one to a close. I actually have to leave soon because I'm going to adopt kind of a new little family member. I saw a post on Facebook of a what is it? Some animal. I don't know if it's Joe Exotic. It's not Joe Exotic, but some animal thing. Let me see. Well, no, I'm not even gonna. I'll never be able to find it. Some animal resource place or something had to close. And so then there's all these different things that they're looking to find good homes for. And so the thing said they had several turtles, and I have a turtle pond, and Jeff brings the turtles in. There's a little habitat for them down in our sub basement for the winter so they don't have to be outside. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll see what the deal is on the turtles they have, and if they're looking for someplace that they're just trying to rehome these things, that this rescue took ownership of these animals. And so I messaged the person and there was only one turtle left, I guess. And I'm like, okay, what's involved in adopting or whatever? And they said, no contract, no fee, just come get it. So I have an appointment to go get this turtle. um So that's what I'm doing after this. Kat says, and who knows, Steven's family could implode in a huge way again. Yeah, you never know with that family. And that's something for those of you who are going to watch this video later that maybe haven't followed the Stephen case with us or in our MAM gossip group, there's a whole lot to that Avery family that people just don't know. And we don't typically go public with, because it's a whole lot of ugly. So that's why I'm thinking we'll do a subscriber only thing. And I guess it's like really important on YouTube to try and get subscribers. My husband has taunted me that he's got way more subscribers on his YouTube channel than I do. um, so I don't think Nana's here. When we used to do all the phone calls here on YouTube a year or so ago, was you're supposed to nag people when you do YouTube videos to make sure they hit the thumbs up and they hit the bell to subscribe. Oh, there's my husband. I do. Yeah. He's got way more subscribers than me. Wah, wah. Um, um, but whatever. I'm used to it being the black sheep everywhere. And Kat always wants to slap Barb. Here's the sticker. Speaking of stickers, Christopher I think he just set it up in the Etsy store. I said to him the other day, because Christopher is the one who runs everything for me because I just don't know how to do anything. So he also has access to the Justice with Jack's Etsy store. And so he's the one that puts all the stuff up there and does all that because I'm old. But so I said to him the other day, going, "Oh, we're in December," because I got some email from Etsy about when it was Black Friday and all that. And I'm like, "Oh, should we be doing a special discount for December on the store?" So so if you go to the Justice with Jack's Etsy store, I can't remember what he did there. I think it's 40%. No, let me see. Does it say something in here? 20%. Yeah, see, 40% would be a whole lot. So right now the stickers are 20% off. So it's $2 a sticker. So can I post this link here? Yeah, you buy some, Jeff. And if you have suggestions for other stickers to make, poor Jeff keeps making all these stickers. But yeah, so for December, there's the 20% off sale on these stickers. So there's Kat's Just Slap Barb. Can't remember who came up with Guessing is Not Confessing. Don't Get Strange. Free Brendan Dassey. Jeff, if you're still watching this, free Melissa. You can't read the words on there, on her butterfly. We All Live on Avery Road. Street sign. Justice with Jax, which I was saying to Jeff, I think we need to do a new logo for Justice with Jax. And then, whoops, there's also the Justice with Jax vagina bat. And then the free Stephen Avery. Yep, those are all the stickers that are currently there. So if you have any suggestions of other stickers or other things, period, to put in the Etsy store, let me know, because I kind of know a guy who can make stuff and we can put it up here. So, and also Jeff owns the print shop, so he can come up with anything. So, all right, I'm gonna go so I can get ready to go get our new turtle that then Jeff can make a video about and put on his channel. And since he's got so many subscribers. And so, and I guess when I end this, I will schedule. It's so hard to get used to doing this on YouTube that I'll schedule the video for next Wednesday that we're covering the Melissa Kaluzinski case. So, and then Bryce, I can talk to you on Messenger or whatever if you want to get together, since I will be down in Lincoln on Tuesday. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend. I will see you next Wednesday. What's the date? The 8th at 1 p.m. Central.